We're doing a lesson called While the World Watched. It is about Carolyn McKinstry and the presentation that she gave here in Elk Grove. It's not often that we get a chance to hear history from the perspective of the people who were there, and today you get that opportunity. Today's lesson will focus on a micro piece of history as opposed to a macro piece of history. So the first activity that we're going to do is going to give you the chance to imagine a scenario that she actually lived through. I chose this lesson because after hearing Carolyn McKinstry speak and reading her book, I felt like this was a good way to introduce civil rights to the students on a smaller scale. We usually talk about Martin Luther King Jr., you talk about the March on Washington, and these are things that happen on a large scale. And I think it's important for them to hear the stories of the people who are in the trenches. As I was going through the book, I tried to think of the lesson in a comprehensive way. And so, as I said, I started with what was life like in Birmingham during the time when she was growing up? What happened with the church bombing? And then what was her life like after? So to frame it in that way for them so they could understand chronologically what's going on is also the history component of this lesson. I think you want to make sure that you're thinking of your students when you're creating a lesson. Sometimes we look to ourselves and kind of what we're interested in and what we like, so you have to make sure that you have a wide variety of ways for your students to express themselves. So just be open to alternatives when you're creating a lesson. When I was creating a lesson, there's parts where you could stop. Like maybe this is only going to be a half-day lesson, or it's going to be a full day, or it's going to be 3 days. So don't be afraid to just use part of it, because even though all of it together is powerful, there are pieces you can use that really get the point across.
It's important to teach teens these kind of lessons because we are at the age of being influenced easily, and we should be shown what the actual event, how it occurred, what happened, rather than just being taught from the textbooks, because in the textbooks you cannot see what happened, how it happened, what the people were going through. When you actually see what was going on, the actual event, then it really shows us that there was so much more going on. And then it really enhances our knowledge about what actually happened rather than just keeping us blindfolded behind just the textbooks.
I don't think people are aware of how recent the civil rights movement was. Like, it was only 40 or 50 years ago. Like, there's still plenty of people who lived in the time of segregation. So this kind of gives insight into segregation and how it came to an end. Normally we just read books and use PowerPoints, which is good because it gets you the facts and information you need to know for history. But this gives you a sense that you were there, or you can experience what that person was thinking. So that's good, because then you kind of live through that history a bit, and you just understand history better, and you understand how we are where we are today.